And I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming, 'cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming.
Oh, peace and love to all the guys and goddesses and the high vibrating species on the planet, man. What it is, what it do, y'all. How the world treating y'all. What's happening? What's busting out there, man. How the world treating y'all, man. For real. How we living? I'm cooling. It's a bit chilly out there, you know. And I can't stand it. I mean, bones just be hurting, man. For real. But I hope everybody good out there, man. We got a SCP called the coffee machine. SCP-294. This one ain't gonna take long. Shouldn't take too long. It's a Euclid and teleportation. All right, so it sounds like this thing gets around. But anyways, man, I hope everybody good out there. I hope you got what you need, because I do. And without further ado, we're going to get to what it is that we do. Catamates. Let's get it busting.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-294. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. There are no special standard containment procedures on file for item SCP-294. However, only personnel of security clearance level 2 or higher are allowed to interact with it. See document SCP-294-A. SCP-294 is currently being stored in the second floor personnel break room and is monitored by 2 guards of security clearance level 3 at all times. Description: Item SCP-294 appears to be a standard coffee vending machine, the only noticeable difference being an entry touchpad with buttons corresponding to an English QWERTY keyboard. Upon depositing 50 cents US currency into the coin slot, the user is prompted to enter the name of any liquid using the touchpad. Upon doing so, a standard 12-ounce paper drinking cup is placed and the liquid indicated is poured. 97 initial test runs were performed, including requests for water, coffee, beer, and soda. Non-consumable liquids such as sulfuric acid, wiper fluid, and motor oil, as well as substances that do not usually exist in liquid state, such as nitrogen, iron, and glass, and each one returned a success. Test runs with solid materials such as diamond have failed, however, as it appears that SCP-294 can only deliver substances that can exist in a liquid state. It is of note that after approximately 50 uses, the machine would not respond to further requests. After a period of approximately 90 minutes, the machine seemed to have restocked itself. It is also interesting to note that many caustic liquids that would have eaten through a normal paper cup seem to have no effect on the cups dispensed by the machine. Testing is ongoing. As suggested, SCP-294 was moved to the second floor personnel break room as a money-saving venture. Following Incident 294-01, guards were stationed at the item and a security clearance became necessary to interact with it. Document SCP-294-A regarding Incident 294-1. On August 21st, 2005, Agent Joseph attempted to use item SCP-294 to obtain coffee during his allocated break time at 9:30 a.m. at the request of Agent to see what it would do. Requested a cup of Joe from the item. Moments after confirming the selection, Agent Joseph began to sweat profusely and complained of dizziness before collapsing. After moving the unconscious agent to the infirmary, the medical team recovered the contents of the cup dispensed by item SCP-294, a combination of blood, tissue, and other bodily fluids. Testing revealed the DNA sequence of the biological material dispensed by SCP-294 matched that of Agent made a complete recovery after 4 weeks of rest and intravenous hydration. X-rays and CAT scans showed no further signs of injury, and was released. Both agents were reprimanded. Additional security measures for SCP-294 have been recommended. Addendum SCP-294-F. After reviewing documentation on SCP-294, suggested testing SCP-294's ability to retrieve specific liquids from a distance. Addendum SCP-294-H. With the overseeing of O5, a cup of SCP-75 secretion was used as input. The product was proven to be the requested liquid, and the cup was able to successfully contain the material. However, the report for Incident 075-7 was acknowledged 2 hours after the test. See Addendum SCP-75-M. A containment procedure breach had occurred exactly the same time this test was taking place, waking SCP-75 to its active stage. It was able to secrete an amount of basic solution equal to the capacity of a coffee cup before emergency containment procedure was applied and it was rendered passive. The liquid was not found in post-incident investigation. Addendum SCP-294-I. Researcher punched in request for cup of gold. The machine dispensed a cup of molten gold. Researcher requested similar precious materials with the same result. Addendum SCP-294-J. Researcher punched in, from a safe range, request for cup of anti-water. The machine hummed briefly, then displayed out of range on entry pad. It is theorized that SCP-294 has a limited range of collection and cannot reach into alternative universes or dimensions. Addendum SCP-294-K. Researcher punched in request for diamond. SCP-294 briefly hummed, then displayed out of range on entry pad. SCP-294 gives this result for all solid substances, as diamond is a solid crystalline form of carbon. It appears that the machine will not dispense liquid carbon, as this does not result in a diamond. When a cup of carbon was subsequently punched in, the machine dispensed a cup of liquid carbon. SCP-294 was immune to the damaging effects of the dispensed liquid. Addendum SCP-294-M. Testing for range of SCP-294's capacity for retrieval has been initiated. A unique compound has been formulated composed of undisclosed ratios, brand bleach, brand cola, METRX powder, and garam masala. The fluid was created and placed in a sealed container 25 meters away from SCP-294. When requested, the fluid was dispensed. An equal amount of the mixture was no longer present in its original container. Addendum SCP-294-01. Researcher under observation of Level 4 personnel keyed in a request of the best drink I've ever had. SCP-294 dispensed the fluids.
Okay, so I think that explains the transportation, the teleportation, I mean. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that it can't reach into another universe or whatnot. So I wouldn't just take that, you know what I'm saying, for face value. You may want to study that detail right there a little bit, a little further. You know what I mean? Now this carbon thing, but you know, I'll wait.
Similar in appearance to cola. The researcher identified it as a mixed drink he recalls having in a bar during his bachelor party, and was convinced it was the best drink. He did not know what ingredients were in the drink besides rum and cola. Further tests are scheduled to ascertain how SCP-294 gathers information. Addendum SCP-294-01A. Under the same conditions, Agent, the best drink I've ever had. SCP-294 delivered a dark fluid topped with a white foam which was later identified as Vienna Lager. The cup was printed with a color picture of 5 men and 2 women drinking beer on a beach. Was one of them. In his briefing, Agent confirmed his favorite drink ever was a Vienna Lager he consumed at the beach with his friends. It has now been confirmed that SCP-294 has the ability to directly gather information from someone's mind in order to comply with the given conditions.
And see, that's why I said that the aspect of it not being able to do universal, you may want to look into that, because if it can pull from your mind, then hey.
Addendum SCP-294-Q-1. Subject keyed the perfect drink. The machine dispensed a cup containing an odorless lavender liquid. After drinking the liquid, subject appeared to go into shock. Subject later committed suicide, leaving a note which read, "I'm sorry, but at this point, everything's just one big letdown." Requesting such a drink again is highly discouraged. None of the components of the drink have yet been identified. Addendum 294-T1. The subject keyed in something Cassie will like. The device was heard to hum for about 3 seconds before dispensing an empty cup. Printed on the side of the cup was an image of a traditional soda fountain glass filled with something brown and topped with whipped cream. Upon introduction to SCP-85, it was identified by her as a chocolate banana milkshake and judged delicious. Addendum SCP-294-W. Researcher keyed in a request for a cup of music. SCP-294 produced a clear sparkling fluid that tasted vaguely alcoholic. Following ingestion, subject reported feeling and not hearing a continuous rhythm, and demonstrated the ability to move and even dance with a certain fluidity that he had not previously shown. Testing on other abstract concepts is continuing. Addendum SCP-294-AB. During a mass security breach, agents requested a cup of pertinent medical knowledge while taking shelter inside the second-floor break room. Of the 4 agents in the room, Agent was the only one who was not injured. SCP-294 poured a cup of clear green liquid. Following the ingestion of this substance, Agent began mending other agents' wounds in a manner consistent with Foundation medical training. Agent no longer has the medical training that the liquid provided, and other attempts to recreate the effect have failed. The agent has speculated that this event was an emergency measure taken by the object to ensure self-preservation. Addendum SCP-294-AC. Dr. requested my life story from SCP-294. SCP-294 made humming noises and shook violently for approximately 3 minutes before providing a highly viscous, opaque black liquid. Upon consumption, Dr. reported that he remembered everything that had ever happened to him. Following this test, Dr. entered his office and returned 48 hours later with a 538-page autobiography. Addendum SCP-294-AD. Researcher produced request consisting solely of the phrase, "Surprise me." Device produced an opaque cup containing normal water, later determined to have been heated to approximately 200 degrees Celsius. Upon receiving vibration from transport, the contents of the cup turned into steam, violently spraying boiling water in a 2-meter radius. Addendum SCP-294-AF. Researcher produced request for Blood of Christ. SCP-294 vibrated and produced the message, Hic Anum Calix Sanguis Mei, then produced a paper drinking cup containing approximately 0.12 liters of red grape wine. Addendum SCP-294-AG. Researcher produced requests for cup of Smilodon blood, cup of passenger pigeon blood, and cup of Thomas Jefferson's blood, and received 3 out-of-range errors. Addendum SCP-294-AH. A D-Class personnel with IQ of 99 and low curiosity scores was given written instructions about what to request. The D-Class personnel produced a request for blood of Canis lupus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as wolf blood. The D-Class personnel next produced a request for saliva of Equus ferus caballus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as horse saliva. The D-Class personnel next produced a request for urine of Phascolarctus cinereus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as koala urine. The D-Class personnel next produced a request for cerebrospinal fluid of Fulberomys pattersoni and received a cup of liquid currently undergoing analysis. It is to be noted that Fulberomys pattersoni went extinct during the late Miocene epoch, approximately 8 million years ago. Addendum SCP-294-AI. Dr. King produced a request for a cup of room temperature superconductor and received a cup of apple juice with seeds floating in it. Addendum SCP-294-AJ. Dr. Menchu produced request for cup of D151839's leukemia and received a cup of fluid. The fluid was microscopically examined and found to contain leukemic blast cells, which were a genetic match to D151839. A second request for cup of D151839's leukemia resulted in an out-of-range error. D151839 was subsequently found to be free of leukemia. However, within 15 days, the leukemia had recurred. Other SCP-294 experiments are currently awaiting approval. You can look forward to a future lecture with a lot more experiments. I know you guys love that, right? I think that about does it for today. Thank you very much for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Peace. Okay, Academy, so there we are. You know what I mean? A coffee machine that will give you just about anything that is in the range of it. And obviously that would be coming from anything on, I would just say, the planet or realm, wherever it is, it'll pull from it. Or the surrounding areas, it'll pull from that as well. And you may want to be careful what you request, because if you request a cup of Joe, you're going to get a human being. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Joe to get hit. It's going to be a Joe that gets hit. So, yeah. Man, to be honest with you, this thing is totally weird. People, it's real talk. Where did it come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where the hell did it come from? Listen, y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. You know what I'm talking about? I'm in awe. I'm in a state of awe. Like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like it's dangerous. It's cool, but it's dangerous. It's, I guess, random. You don't know what you don't know what you're gonna get. Okay, so yeah, I understand the fact that it's Euclid, because it's dangerous. You just don't know what you're gonna get with it, and I mean the fact that it'll kick out a poison. I guess you can call it a poison. It'll kick out a liquid that would result in you committing, you know what I'm saying, unaliving yourself. Then I mean that's kind of, you know what I mean. But then I mean the upsides. You teach a guy how to dance. You teach a guy how to be a doctor. You know what I'm saying, when you need it. It's bittersweet. How about that, y'all? It's a coffee machine that spits out. It's bittersweet. I don't know how much creamer or how much sugar you gonna put in that coffee right there to really, you know what I'm saying, get it to be sweet all around. I mean, I guess that's perspective and based on request. But you know, there's some minds out there that's gonna be on some You know what I'm talking about? So, you feel me? Head on swivel. Keep yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally protected. You know, keep the CT on. Keep that eye open. All three of them. Pay attention to details. And until next time, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Don't let this world drive you crazy. Academy.